Hi, Mart here, and welcome to another episode of my sketchbook. And today I wanted to talk about style, and especially about forcing the style, trying to create your own, or just draw what you like, and the style will eventually come to you. Because I actually tried to force my style, and, well, it didn't end up well, but at the beginning it felt good because I've tried to put all the things that I liked at the moment in the style. And it was a style called Big Noses. You can see it in my older videos. I actually really like it, It took me like about 3 months to get some basics done. And I really liked it from the beginning. But there's this problem with artists. Because if you wanna force the style, then there was this problem. And I think it's a problem of every artist. Artists always learn new things. It doesn't matter how good we are, or how good you are, how good artist you are. Even the best artist in the world always learns new things. Maybe not every day, but for example every month, every week. And if you force your style and you want to use this new thing in your style, you probably have to force it again to include this new thing you've just learned into your style. You have to change it slightly, because now you are a better artist, so your style should somehow reflect that. Yeah, and that's the problem I came to. And that's the problem why I now hate my old style. I literally hate it. Because at the time I've tried to develop it, pretty much half a year since I started. I know I did this force new thing I just learned so many times that I start to hating my style. That was like the worst thing that ever happened to me in art. And yeah, I was kind of miserable at that moment and I couldn't do anything else. So I just started, draw things that I wanted to draw in style I wanted to draw. I didn't care about anything. Yeah, and now I'm pretty happy how most of my drawings and paintings going. And yeah, that's the opposite approach to the style. Just draw what you want and the style will eventually appear. And why is, by my opinion, this better? Because when you learn new things, you just draw different thing. You don't have to somehow include this into some concept that is old to you. You can just create new concept and draw new things. And if you're gonna do this a lot, you will figure it out that you have some consistency in your drawings and they go better and better. What I'm talking about is my digital painting. In my traditional, I wouldn't say that I've changed anything because I really liked what I'm doing. Yeah, the technique is probably slightly more developed than in few years back, but yeah, I still pretty much like what I'm doing. These horny girls and this fantasy stuff like I'm doing right in this video. Yeah, I really like to do these. So this is what I think about forcing style and this kind of stuff. Also, the other thing, what really started to bother me in the last few months, that people, and this included me when I was starting with art, people actually thinks that really stylized and simplified characters are really easy to draw and you don't need that much skill to draw them. And the artists who actually do cartoons and stuff are not that skilled or that good as the realism artists or semi-realism artists, these over-rendered pictures. But I don't think this is right, because everyone can over-render some stuff. It's actually pretty easy. You only have to it only takes time, it doesn't take that much skill. But I think the main part what people are missing about the simplifying stuff, it's that these people learn how to draw, I don't know, a face or anything with less lines than the realism artist, and it still looks nature, it still looks good, it's still pretty much anatomically correct, and that's the hardest part. You have to know your anatomy. And if you are good enough to know the anatomy that well that you can actually bend it in your some simplified style. For example, if everyone can draw like nose in some simplified style from one view, but can you do it from all views? And how do you learn that? You don't have any reference to it. There's like, you can't just, I know, look up some, I know, photo of person from different view and just copy the nose. You can't do it because it's really simplified. It's cartoony style or anime, I don't know, you know, these simplified drawings. And that's why these people are usually even way more skilled than realism painters and stuff, artists. This is what bothers me like a lot, because people are really not appreciating how hard it is to draw in this simplified style, and how hard it is to actually make it look better, make it look nature and good. Yeah, I have to admit that I've also been one of the guys that actually always thought that, you know, the realism, that's the biggest and the hardest part of the art, but it's actually not. It's like when you're learning how to draw, it's like a good checkpoint, you know? You learn to draw and you go from basics to realism. And when you know the realism very good, you can like change to some simplified shapes and stuff and try to bend the realism into some stylized characters or stylized anything. That's like the realism is like the peak and you can just take your path from it. So that's why pretty much all of these cartoon artists, I mean the really good cartoon artists and anime artists and stuff, they already know the realism. They just choose the different path. I'm not saying that painters who do realism are any like are not that skilled or anything. They are skilled, but they just decided to stay into realism. But they decided it, not that just like, yeah, I don't like cartoons. It's way too easy for me. No, it's actually hard for them. They are way more comfortable with drawing realism. Yeah, and I should probably cut it now, because I'm talking way too long today. So if you got any thoughts about art and art style, like in general, or you think I've said something wrong and you have some other opinions, just leave it in the comments and we can discuss it. I would really like to know some of your like opinions about this subject, because it's pretty interesting part of the art to talk about. Yeah. So thanks for watching and see you next time.